Welcome, collected StarCraft masses, to GxCraft. I am your host, Creator GX. Today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different than usual. You can no doubt tell because there's not a pro player game already on stream. This is going to be what I like to call a GxCraft special, wherein I explain a particular aspect of StarCraft 2 that is a common talking point within the community. I'm going to try doing this every tens of episodes or so, but not terribly often. Today we're going to talk about something that plagues not just StarCraft 2, but pretty much all games everywhere. Hackers. Today we're going to be looking through hackers and how to spot them. The first we're going to look at is an easy one, disconnection hacks. This is a game where an opponent has lost a lot of game, but not only are the negative points not recorded for the opponent, but the positive points for yourself will not be recorded either. This is often used in conjunction with other hacking software and is very easy to spot. You simply check the player's match history for similar losses, as well as check your own to see if you gained points for that latter match. If you win and aren't rewarded, immediately be suspicious. See, I could explain that one without having to give that much example. But next up we have the most common hack not only within StarCraft 2, but remains to be an issue in StarCraft Brood War. This would be map hacks. Some original StarCraft players might even know what I'm talking about. These were so common in the original StarCraft that a song from Rhyme Torrent even referenced it.
Play at StarCraft.
You pick the map.
We play at StarCraft.
Be sure to turn on
We
fraps.
play at StarCraft.
I don't even need a map hack.
It's a racist game, and I'm okay with that.
What a map hack does, basically, is remove the fog of war within the game, allowing the hacker to see their opponent's position as well as their units. It doesn't allow the hacker to attack units on high ground, which is protected by the fog of war, but they are usually unseen by the opponent when the replay comes through. Within the replay of the game, it will appear as with the fog of war still on. It is still a problem today, as it seems to be the easiest to code and to spread. It also is somewhat tricky to catch. How you can catch one is simple, but it can be hidden in some cases. The map hacker will be looking a great deal through the fog of war to see their opponent's base or units without scouting. Through the replay, viewing the hacker's vision will still display a fog of war, but if the hacker's vision is continuously looking through what appears to them as the empty fog of war without scouting, then you have yourself the high likeliness of a map hacker right there. Let's take a look at a bit of an example here. Alright, first off we're going to look through this game, and this is a game, you know what, the names are kind of unimportant, and the dialogue is a tad inappropriate, but the point is, we'll look through this. This is a map hack example from this bloke. This is our hacker. This guy. Ugh. And he's gotta be up against this guy who I would be leaving his name out, but he's kind of an idiot, so. And his hate. Yeah, but what basically happens is my sound on. No, it's not. That's better. Basically what happens is red all-ins with like 3 Rex Marines, and he completely catches it the entire time. Now, to you, and me, and everyone else, in fact even to him, except for right now, the fog of war is still there. But when we'll look at this guy's, let's just watch his point of view for a while, and you'll understand exactly what I mean when I say the fog of war appears like that. Because in the replay, I mean, as I said before, in the replay the fog of war remains, but in the game in question, oh, I thought it froze. In the game in question, they can see everything. response to whatever he sees, he's gonna be taking a look at that. Going at. Okay, we'll pause here, and now I'm gonna put it on everyone. I'm gonna put it on everyone view, just so everyone can see what exactly he's looking at. He sees 2 barracks. Notice how he didn't like look directly at the command center like one would do if one was doing that legitimately to scout. But no. He doesn't scout at all during this game. He has no reason to assume 3 wrecks. And yet, what does he do? What does he do? He decides to build barracks in response. Not barracks, bunkers. You know, this is a fairly quick game, but I'm going to run through this because he looks through the fog of war so freaking much.
Gangway coming through.
And according to the other guy, yeah.
LCV ready.
Keeps looking over. Now we're gonna wait until the key point, because then you'll know for sure that this guy is 100% looking through the fog of war. See, a hit here is going to perform a Marine all-in with all of his units, and this guy's gonna look right through the middle of the battlefield to catch it. Okay, see, here we go. This is happening. And I'm going to pause a minute. He looks out into the fog of war. Because he even sees it on the mini-map, mind you. And stop. Now, I'm going to enable everyone, and you'll see that's what he was looking at. He sees those initial Marines. It happens to coincide with this field of vision. Everyone, hacker vision. Everyone, hacker vision. Okay, I'm sure you're getting the point. He can see through the fog of war. And if you're trying to catch a hacker, that is how you prove to Team Liquid and yourself that it's really a hacker. And now look at this. He's just he's defending for what he knows is going to come. It's almost there by now, and look. He's just basically waiting for it to happen. And here it comes. And of course it does not expect this at all. Yeah. This guy just defended a 3 Rex all-in that he did not even scout for. Nothing. You look on the minimap, do you see any of the Fog of War slight removes? No. He did not scout at all. Okay, I'm gonna run through this a little faster.
Gangway coming.
But basically, it's the same shit, man. Like the only other input. Yeah, see, more Fog of War watching. I do want to point out that I got this as an example. I got this example from Team Liquid in their Team Liquid hacker database.
Add-on complete.
SCV ready.
And in response, oh dear. In response to that, he's now going to go out and fucking kill him.
SCV ready.
Back on Jay's vision.
You want a piece of me, boy?
I don't claim to know this guy's rank, but for the sake of this demonstration, it's really not important. Okay, you'll see. You see, he has field of vision for one Zelnaga watchtower, even though he can completely see everywhere. So I'm pretty sure it might be a mistake. Here it comes. Once again, he's fully prepared. And here it is again. Okay, yeah, he decides to leave upon getting bumped twice. Now, most people would think that he scouted without him knowing and managed to catch that 3-Rax. Well, that would have been sound in thought, but regardless, he should not have been able to see when the Marines came across the field without any scouting. There was not even one on the Zelnaga watchtower. So this is an indisputable hack. And if you catch something like this, where there's no scouting, no scouting whatsoever, but they manage to defend against whatever ridiculous build you have, whatever cheese you have, then yeah, you got yourself a hacker. But, okay, let's move on. Let's come off of that and move on to another kind of hack that has been popping up a lot more recently. Drop hacks. This, to me, is the most notorious of them so far, for reasons I will now explain. A drop hack is still suspected to not really exist, but, more or less, a drop hack is one wherein a player uses an exploit to raise APM or actions per minute to ridiculous levels, enough to cause the other player to experience high amounts of lag, until eventually the other player crashes their game. This happens to replays of the game in question, so I will try my best to show an example. For this example, I will give credit to GxCraft from YouTube for getting footage of what actually happens during a drop hack. Let's take a look. I do want to say that this can be disguised as well, but luckily, most people who actually use drop hacks are incredibly stupid. For you see, in their match history, most drop hackers tend to have matches that only last a few seconds. If their entire roster is like this, then you have yourself a confirmed drop hacker. There are plenty of other hacks, though most are either undocumented or have since been rendered obsolete thanks to Blizzard's constant patches. I'll end on one surprising example of this, namely a game that features a hack that allows a warp gate to warp in Immortals. You heard me correctly, Immortals! Immortals! For those of you not in the know or do not play Protoss, the Protoss tech tree not only does not allow for that, but Immortals are produced from robotics facilities, a rally point building, and cannot be warped in. Of course, some of you may point out that Immortals could warp in during the StarCraft II Alpha, and could even be seen in StarCraft II's in its first gameplay demonstration back in 2000-something or other. But this is no longer the case, and that makes this example an indisputable hack. Let's take a look. Crap. Alright, we've moved ahead a bit in the replay, so I could further illustrate how odd this is. Okay, we're seeing he has a bunch of gateways already. He's about to go warp gate. He will shortly. And like, completely forget about the fact that the Terran is still building up. It really doesn't matter. We're going to be focusing on our Protoss buddy here. Now, pay attention to this. I've illustrated earlier that this cannot happen, and yet immortal. These immortals are real, and they just warped right the hell in. Let's actually take how much minerals it takes to make these. Takes... I think... Wait, what is he building right now? He's building a robot to really throw him off, but the fact is you shouldn't be able to get immortals that quickly, hence why this man is very, very confused when he does see the immortals. I'm waiting for it to really show income, but... Ah, crap, I missed the chance. Let's go back. Okay, it's at 350. It actually took out more. But again, let's look on here. On the warp gate, there's no immortal. You cannot build it from here. You can only build it from these robotics facilities, which are completely not ready to be building. Oh wait, that's a forge. My mistake. The point is, he warped these in. Gosu guy warped these in, whatever the hell his name is. And I think they actually do more damage to armored. So yeah, there you go. In fact, let's go back just to prove how weird this is. Okay, it's minute 10. I do want to also point out that this is a very... This is basically this is a very early version of the game. It is post-launch, so it is, I think, version 1.03. And let's just skip ahead. I mean, once the warp person's... Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna watch it one more time. And here it comes. In a minute now. Real frickin' immortals. Just trotting off like nothing happened. So, there you go. If you ever encounter a hack like that, congratulations, because that is one of the strangest you will ever see. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this since, and this was actually only an incident in the Korean servers. So if you encounter it, 1, thumbs up to you, 2, report it immediately. Oh my goodness. Alright, let's move on to the next bit. Needless to say, warping in an immortal is the tip of the iceberg. But what does one do about these hackers? It's unfortunately very simple. First, you report the player to Blizzard via the in-game interface, if not emailing them directly. Do not report it through the Battle.net forum, or you will be punished by the moderators. Second, read through Team Liquid's TL hacker database threads, both seasons 1 and 2, to see if your hacker is already on the list. If not, post the identity of your hacker in accordance with the rules of the thread. And, unfortunately, that's really all you can do for now. Or, in certain cases, you could still manage to beat the hackers despite the disadvantage. GxCraft, for example, managed to beat someone who used map hacks in his video. Though every occurrence of a map hacker is usually not this lucky. Also, it's recommended that you review a suspected hacker's match history. Usually that can be the biggest tell, as well as reviewing the replay of the game itself. It's my recommendation you do this for all your losses anyway, so as to improve your gameplay. But what you should not do is as follows. You nooblets pay a fucking attention, as this might mean the difference between picking out a real hacker and bad manners with possible temporary ban at the hands of Blizzard. Do not call the opponent a hacker beforehand, or in-game for any reason. If you are wrong, this is considered BM and is highly frowned upon. Plus you're gonna sound like a complete twat. Be calm and don't antagonize. Just lose your game and report the bloke once you're completely... And thus concludes my first special. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves in this video, and I hope you all come away from this a bit more educated than you were beforehand. If you do actually encounter a hacker, I genuinely hope you cope with this correctly. Unfortunately, there are quite a few hackers about there, and there's more hacking software being developed as is. As luck would have it, I do have a bit of a success story about this. Not too long ago, a hacker by the name of Pillage implemented a drop hack that used it so unabashedly that he managed to get himself into the Grand Master League and stayed there for about a month. He had 69 wins and 0 losses before Blizzard successfully patched up the game to prevent this from happening again. Unfortunately, what they failed to do was delete him from the latter history. It is now May 29th, and not only has the exploit been covered up that allowed this hacker to roam free, but Pillage's rank has been wiped completely clean. He is no longer in the Grandmaster League, and everyone is all better off for it. Suck it, hacker.